Morning guys, today we are at iRoll Auto Volvo Juro Auto City and we'll be test driving the S90 T8 Plus. Right, so let's go find our car. Outside. So this is the S90 T8 Plus. Let's get in the car. Keyless as you access. Yes. Okay. The S90 T8 Plus is with the Bowers and Wilkins sound system, which we will get into a little bit later. But let's start the car and take it for a spin. Super quiet startup, engaging all the IntelliSafe, climate control. Alright, we're ready, let's go. Morning guys, this is the S90 T8 Plus. We're gonna take it for a little spin to our normal test drive route. And it is so quiet. It is so quiet. I just drove the M3 to work today, so that was like 5 minutes apart from driving this car, and instantly you can it's just super quiet. As soon as I got into this car, it's super quiet. And as well, the driving experience is totally different. Okay, the driving experience is totally different because this is a plug-in hybrid. Now, how does this plug-in hybrid work? It is an all-wheel drive system, meaning all four wheels can be driven. At the same time, the engine supplies power to all four wheels. Okay, the powertrain produces 407 horsepower with 640 Newton meters of torque. The electric motor powers the rear wheels and it produces 87 horsepower as well as 240 Newton meters of torque. That's massive. That's massive amounts of torque produced by the rear wheels. You have different drive modes that you can select on this very nice diamond cut. Today we'll be driving in hybrid for now, and it's meant for everyday use. And when we get on the highway, let's try a little bit of a different driving experience. Just give me some time while I exit. Okay, this guy doesn't want to let me go. Super smooth power delivery, super smooth. Now the S90 T8 Plus is in the same category or in the same luxury executive sedan segment as the Mercedes E-Class and the BMW 5 Series. Very different. It is extremely different. Now, as driving experience goes, this has a left footrest. It's a little bit more comfortable. BMW has that, but E-Class unfortunately does not. And let me just give you a glimpse of the soundproofing, yeah? Okay, this is windows down. A lot of extra noise comes in. Alright? So quiet. So quiet. Okay, it is a lot more quiet than my car. It is a lot more quiet than some other cars that I've driven, and it's just amazing. It's super comfortable. It's super comfortable, and that's the main key point that I want to bring home with this car. This is not my first time driving the S90, but it's the first time I'm doing a review. Steering feels quite light, quite agile for such a big car, but doesn't feel fake. You still feel like you can drive this car, and it still feels just that little bit, keeping you in touch with the car and each of its precise movements. See, you can handle this car extremely well. For such a big car, it's actually pretty agile. It is more agile than the E-Class in my opinion. It slots nicely between the E-Class and the BMW 5 Series in terms of handling. And power delivery is just instantaneous. You get the HUD display, the heads-up display, that is a light that shoots up to the windscreen. Yes, it shoots up to the windscreen, so it projects itself there instead of having one piece of plastic that rises. And yeah, it gives you a little bit of that augmented reality response, and wow, the driving response is so smooth, right? So smooth. This is an 8-speed gearbox powered by iShin, right? 8-speed iShin gearbox that controls both the front as well as the back wheels. And yeah, as with all electronic steering, as you go higher speeds, this steering tightens up to give you more precise control at higher speeds. So that's a very nice feature that I did not expect Volvo to have. But then again, I guess now all electronic steerings will have that, right? Previous generations of Servotronic, hydraulic / electronic steerings implemented it, and yeah, comfortable, super quiet, not much road noise at all, and not much noise from the engine at all. It's just a super clean, relaxing drive. Of course, the S90 T8 Plus is equipped with all the IntelliSafe technologies. As a motorcyclist randomly cut into my lane, the warnings started flaring up in yellow to make sure that I realize and I'm applying brakes as needed. Talking about the brakes, it feels a little bit different because of course there is charge braking for the electricity. Okay, there is charge braking, so a lot of the brake force initially goes to charging the electronic hybrid system, and as you depress the pedal further down, then you only feel like it's eating into your brakes. Okay, so this takes a little bit of getting used to. Right now I'm using pilot assist, and I can just with one hand control the distance with the front guy as well as control my top speed. It will accelerate and decelerate accordingly, and yeah, this is fantastic. Of course, Volvo doesn't recommend doing this, you know, hands-free and all. And of course, changing lanes, you just need to do it by yourself. But yeah, it is super intuitive, super clean, and very easy to use. And that is the Scandinavian style design, right? Just press a button. As soon as it locks on to any road, right? I'm going through quite a bend, so let's see if okay, there's no green light, so no pilot assist for this big turn. Because it couldn't capture the white line as it went through, but we can make do. The interior cabin feels very different to any other car, because you notice, the first thing you notice is that after a while, there's not much of the new car smell. And the new car smell is actually quite bad, because the new car smell is actually fumes. It's actually fumes produced by the leather and the plastics within the car, and it is actually carcinogenic. It gives you cancer. It gives you cancer. So inhaling, of course, you need a large amount to inhale that every single day, but it is slightly carcinogenic. Okay, and then the 80% of this car, of the interior cabin, is built with cancer-free materials. And that's why you notice yourself, some people that get into the car, right? Some people as they get into the car, they will feel like their asthma. People, especially with asthma, they notice that their asthma starts to flare up, difficulty breathing, etc, etc. This is because, see, I'm going through a slight bend, speeds up to, my top speed right now is 95 kilometers per hour, and I'm following the Avanza in front of me. It's a slight bend, I don't need to do anything. Perfect. It is perfect for highway driving, and of course with your hands off for an ample amount of time. Volvo will tell you, please don't do that, it's not very safe. Even though our car is safe, I need to keep my hands on the steering, at least one hand on the steering, and of course my eyes on the road. Back to my previous point, the carcinogenic one, yeah, some people get asthma in a new car because of that, of those fumes, right? And Volvo claims that 80 to 85% of this car is cancer-free. Building on that point, 80% of this car's interior can be recycled as well, or 80% of this car can be recycled. Yes, can be recycled and keep the environment clean and nice. And yes, that is the eco-friendly route that Volvo cars are starting to represent. Of course, the pillar of safety will always be the backbone of the Volvo brand. But nowadays, you can also argue that ergonomics and design for the people inside the cabin, whether or not they are the rear seat passengers, whether the rear seat passengers are children or fully grown adults, and of course the front passenger and the most important guy, the driver. See, I'm not accelerating, my knee is up here and it's just doing the accelerating for me, and I adjusted it to be according to the current road speed limit. So I know that, you know, long highway trips I can just do this and have a nice relaxing drive. It keeps me in the center of the lane, it adheres to the speed limit. This is my favorite feature of the Volvo car, of course modern Volvo car lineups. Right, standing to provide steering. And every time I drive this car to go home, for example, if we have a drive the next day, or if I just want to test drive an XC40, an S60, an XC60, etc., the Volvo lineup, it has that adaptive cruise control, and it's just a bliss to use, especially on highways, when there's traffic jam, Penang Bridge jam. That's perfect to use. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Maintain safe distance, etc. Okay, soundproofing, fantastic. The seats, yes, the seats. As you can see, I'm seated very comfortably, and these seats are very big as well. Right, these seats are very big, and they were designed by orthopedics, which is the branch of medicine that focuses on spinal health. So these seats were designed with the health of your spine in mind. So many neat features in this car contribute to the very pleasureful, the very pleasant driving experience of this car, which is just cocooning you in a state of Volvo bliss and Volvo peace. You know, you can just relax as you're in this car. Very, very different from the M3. The M3 is like, yes, yeah! And this car is like, it's okay. I got all the power you need, but I'm just gonna deliver you. Very pleasant, very relaxing, very smooth, very, very smooth driving experience. You can tell as well. Okay, so one misconception that many people ask me about Volvos is that, okay, if the hybrid battery runs out, does it not become hybrid? Does it only become a front wheel drive since the electronic motor powers the back? No, it doesn't. There's actually a threshold limit where if you deplete the battery to that point, the engine and the electronic system automatically controls you to the point where you don't exhaust the battery furthermore, and actually preserves around 10% of battery to be used in eco mode, which is if you're running low on fuel and the fuel range is like 5 km, you can go actually on eco mode, and that will start to calibrate itself to the most economical fuel setting, right? A lot of people still have range anxiety about using batteries in cars, so that is not an issue here. Any braking done with the car will charge the battery, as well as it will use some fuel, right, to recuperate some of that battery charge. So that's very interesting, and it's very, very helpful as well. When you're limited on range, just drive on eco mode. Your range will increase substantially. We've tested, because we run into a few close calls with our fuel as well. Yeah, it's overall a very pleasant, very intuitive system to get to use, right? Everything can be done with one hand. Everything can be done and can be learned as well. So there's a slight learning curve with Volvo cars because they're just so different from the competition. They're so different from the 5 Series. It's so different from the E-Class, right? And it produces a lot more horsepower than the 5 Series. Produces a lot more comfort for me, a lot more comfort than the E-Class because of the driving pleasure, right? You get a footrest. The torque is instantaneous, which is also a safety feature because instantaneous torque means that you can exit bends, exit roundabouts, or enter bends and roundabouts at a much safer entry, right? A much safer transition into set speed to match with either the person in front or the person at the back. Yes, so speed is actually a safety feature. Torque in general. Top speed is not a safety feature. Torque. It handles very smooth. It handles very smooth. There was a reasonably tight corner, and you can just see how easily I do a 180-degree turn. Super smooth. This car is just smooth, right? One thing I do not like about this car is that lack of pedal shifters. But obviously this is the Inscription trim of the S90, and Inscription means that you get super luxury stuff instead of sporty stuff, which is present in the R design models, S60 T8 Plus R design, or the XC40 T5 R design as well. The Inscription model is only available in Malaysia for the S90, for the XC60, and for the XC90 as well. Yep. Overall, this is a fantastic, pleasant drive, and you know the safety systems are chock full in this car. I'll show you how the safety systems work later on, as well as this fantastic sound system and some of the interior, exterior cues of this car. Now we are back in our showroom. Short test drive is done. Noise, okay. Let's go, no noise. See? The drain, we drive over some drains and no noise, super clean. Yes, that is the S90 driving experience. Super smooth, really, just one word to sum it up: it's smooth, it's pleasant, it's intuitive, and it makes sure that you as the driver, you can focus on driving safely. Doesn't necessarily have to mean slow, because it is not a slow car at all. And yeah, that's the S90 T8 Plus Inscription. Let me show you the exterior interior of this car. That will be in another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Cheers. Morning guys, if any iRoll customers are watching this, we are very grateful. At the same time, a little bit sorry, because every time you visit our showroom in the coming months to service your car, to chat with our sales consultants or whatever, it will be quite noisy, because this shop lot right here, iRoll is expanding over to this side, and we're just extending our showroom over to accommodate for upcoming Volvo Select services, as well as our after sales service base will be increasing. Alright, so just a short, quick, sweet announcement. But let's get to the review today of the beautiful S90 T8 Plus Inscription model.